Hello, I want to analyze the article Mothers and Teenagers and Modern Tragedy, which is an article written by the Canadian-born Rachel Cusk, who now lives in London, and her article appeared in the newspaper The Times on April the 5 in 2015. And to sum up what this text is about, it's about teenage behavior in general, and in other words, you can say that it's about the transitional phase where the child develops from being a child to be an adult. And according to Kusk, this is a very difficult time for both the parent and the child. And it includes conflicts between the child and the parent and its parents, and also breakaways and identity formation. In this article, Kusk focus on the relationship between mothers and daughters because that's what she experiences in her everyday life, and therefore something she knows something about. And if you look at the title, Mothers and Teenagers, a Modern Tragedy, you can see that there is a loaded word, tragedy, which gives the reader a certain mindset even before he or she has started reading. And this says something about her position on the topic, which is negative. And if you look at the article, it's built upon her own experiences, and therefore you can say that it may look like an essay, but it's important to mention that it isn't. Yeah, and if you look at her trustworthiness, you can see that she supports her claims by referring to others, and therefore she uses ethos by including other mothers and using them as experts. On page 6 in line 43 to 47, it says, when people asked me how old my daughters were, they would grimace at my reply. Poor you, they say, or good luck, or at best don't worry, it'll pass. You will get them back eventually. Here you can see that she uses ethos to yeah where she uses other mothers as experts, and therefore she says that she is not the only one who feels as she does, but she also uses pathos because she wants the reader to feel sorry for her as well as for other mothers who is in the same situation as she is. Yeah. And if you look at her language, it's a very simple everyday language because she wants the reader to be able to relate to what she says, and therefore she also uses concrete and informal language instead of abstract and complicated language. And an example of concrete language is by her use of examples from her own life. Yeah. And yeah, that's make the article relatable for the reader. And if you, or Kusk is also humorous in this article because she parodies her daughter, and on page 6 in line 8 to 9 and in line 22 to 24 it says, You should read a book, I say. She rolls her eyes, and makes a noise of ex, 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 excess, ex, expe, expiration, and her temper instantly raises, like mercury shooting up in a thermometer. And here you can see that even if children are rebellious and irritating at times, it can also be entertaining to have children, and therefore you should also always get the best out of it. Yeah, and in this article, is, Kusk has some main points, um, and one of them is that um, parents shouldn't worry so much about their children, teenage children, because their behavior is kind of normal for teenagers, and therefore they also should be patient and forgiving towards their children, because they will get smarter when they grow up and become adults. But and another of our main points is that um, the children um, has have a different relationship between um, towards the mothers and towards the father. Um, and Kusk says that um, teenagers often treat mothers as a doormat and fathers as a hero, and that can be irritating for especially the mothers, but they just have to be forgiving, and to be patient, because it will pass. Yeah. And therefore the reader also gets something concrete out of this text instead of just reading it. And all in all, she therefore have a success with this article. Bye.